Hello everyone, this is Commissioner Dick Schutz of Central Minnesota's Finest League. I'm here to review week number 8 in our Fantasy Football League and also preview week number 9. Now before I do that, I would like to wish everybody a happy Halloween here, 2017. I hope all of you guys get to indulge in some candy tonight. Now, as we move forward here in our Fantasy Football League, we now have 5 regular season matchups left. 5 regular season matchups, that's it. After that, we'll have the playoffs, and that will start in week number 14. So we are getting down to crunch time, as I have mentioned in the previous videos. So without further ado, let's go ahead and review week number 8. Now week number 8 involved all 4 divisional matchups here. 2 in the purple division and 2 in the gold division. So let's go ahead and knock them down. The first matchup I'd like to review here in week number 8 is a gold divisional matchup between Jared and Kyle. And Kyle ended up beating Jared 203 to 174. Kyle is now 4-4 in our league, and Jared is 3-5. Kyle is now in 6th place, which means he is now in the playoffs. And with the loss, Jared falls out of the playoffs. He is now in 7th place. Again, Kyle with 203 points, a solid performance. 174 for Jared. I mean, it's not bad, but it could have been a little bit better for him. The second matchup I'd like to review is a purple divisional matchup between Steph and Dusty. Dusty ended up beating Steph 196 to 188. Dusty is now 4-4, and Steph is now 4-4. After the win, Dusty moves up a spot in our playoff picture. He is now in 5th place. And Steph pretty much remains where she was last week. She is 3rd in our league. She didn't move one bit. The only difference here is now that Dusty is tied with her as far as records go, both 4-4. The third matchup I'd like to review is another gold divisional matchup between Troy and Turtle. And Troy defeated Turtle 261 to 169. Troy remains in 1st place in the gold division. He is now 5-3. He's 2nd overall in our league. Turtle is now 4-4, and he is in 4th place in our league. Troy now is 2-0 against Turtle this season. With that said, in order for Turtle to eclipse Troy and win the gold division, Turtle would not only have to have a strong stretch here of 5 games, but he would have to make sure he has Troy by at least 1 game as far as records go. There's no way Turtle can win the division if him and Troy end up with the same record, because Troy has the tiebreaker. And the fourth matchup I'd like to review is another a purple division matchup, and it's between Ryan and Mike. Now going into this matchup, it was David versus Goliath. Ryan was in 1st place at 6-1, and Mike was in 8th place, dead last, at 1-6. However, Mike ended up turning it on, and he defeated Ryan 180 to 177. Mike is now 2-6. He's still in last place. And Ryan is now 6-2. He's still at the top, not only in our league, but also in the purple division at 6-2, like I said. For Ryan, it just came down to not starting Russell Wilson and not starting Jimmy Graham. If Ryan had done that and set a better lineup, Ryan would have been well over 200 points. And he would have defeated Mike. But it is what it is. Ryan's still comfortably in the top spot, and it would take a very poor stretch run here for him to really be concerned about where he's at as a team and as a whole. Now, moving forward here, let's go ahead and announce the standings here after 8 weeks. In the purple division, Ryan is again still at that top spot. He's 6-2. After the loss, he's now 4-2 in the division. In second place in the purple division is Steph. She is 4-4, and she's 3-3 in the division. She has lost her last 2 matchups. And because she's lost her last 2 matchups, Dusty, still at in third place, is now 4-4 with Steph. He's also 3-3 in the division, like Steph. But again, he's won those last 2 matchups, and he's been at 200 or just short of 200 the last 3 weeks. So Dusty's team definitely trending upward. And in fourth place in the purple division is Mike. He's 2-6. He's 2-4 in the division, and he gets that big win against Ryan. In the gold division, Troy leads the way. He's in first place. He's 5-3 and 5-1 in the division. In second place in the gold division is Turtle. He's 4-4 now and 3-3 in the division. In third place in the gold division is Kyle. He's now 4-4 and 2-4 in the division. And in fourth place in the gold division is Jared. He is now 3-5 and 2-4 in the division. Our playoff picture looks like this. And I'm gonna go ahead and announce our playoff picture from here on out until the season ends, seeing how we have just 5 weeks to go and we are getting down to the end. So, as it stands right now, here is again our playoff picture. Ryan and Troy would both have a first round bye in the quarterfinals. And the quarterfinals matchups right now would be Turtle versus Dusty and Steph versus Kyle. Now right now, Steph would be the 3 seed, Kyle would be the 6 seed, Turtle would be the 4 seed, and Dusty would be the 5 seed. So, there is your playoff picture as it stands right now. And of course, Troy is the 2 seed and Ryan is the 1 seed. Now moving forward here, let's go ahead and preview. Let's preview week number 9 of our fantasy football season. When I look at week 9 here casually, I see that all 4 matchups are non-divisional, which I believe is the only week that we have this season. So, all 4 matchups here in week 9 are non-divisional matchups. Let's go ahead and preview our first one. Our first one, I'm randomly going to go ahead and call out here, is between Turtle and Steph. Turtle, again, 4-4 in 4th place, and Steph, again, 4-4 in 3rd place. We have 4-4 teams in our division right now. We actually only have 2 teams that are above 500 with Troy and Ryan. So, a lot of mediocre teams that are just outside that top spot in their respective divisions. Right now when I look at Turtle and Steph, a big game for both teams. I think a bigger game for Turtle because he's only trailing Troy by 1 game in the loss column, but truthfully he's actually trailing Troy by 2 games. If he wants to win the division, he has to end up with a better record. But for Steph, she losing the last 2 games of the season here. She's got to get back on it. If she doesn't do that, very easily could be looking at Dusty surpassing her. And I think it's very important to get the highest seed possible because we reseed after the quarterfinals. The lowest seed will play the top seed and so on. So, our second matchup in week 9 I'd like to review, or preview I should say, is Mike's team versus Jared's team. This is a huge matchup. Both teams are outside the playoff picture right now. Mike is in 8th place and Jared is in 7th place. This is as big as it gets. Probably the biggest matchup we have here in week 9. If Jared were to beat Mike, he would be 2 games ahead of Mike, plus he would have the tiebreaker over Mike. So essentially, he would be 3 games up with 4 weeks to go after week 9 is complete. So basically what that does for Mike is it would almost eliminate him, not officially, but it would put him at a very serious risk of losing out on the playoffs here this season. And for Jared, he wins here in week 9, and Kyle loses, then he's right there with Kyle again in that 6th spot. So a big game for both teams. Again, the biggest matchup here in week 9. The third matchup I'd like to preview is between Ryan and Kyle. Ryan is comfortably in first place in the Purple Division. He's 1 game ahead of Troy for the top overall spot. He's actually 2 games above Troy because he has a tiebreaker over Troy. So for Ryan, he just needs to get back on it and start winning again after losing to Mike last week. For Kyle, he just continues to win here and he controls his own destiny. He'd be in the playoffs. So for Kyle, look for another strong week and look for him to continue pushing forward here. The fourth matchup I'd like to preview is between Dusty's team and Troy's team. Dusty's team is on fire right now. He's been right around 200 or above 200 the last 3 weeks. And he's won the last 2 matchups. For Troy, he's in 2nd place overall. He's in 1st place in the gold division by at least 2 games on everybody else. I think when you look at Troy, probably the 2nd best team for sure right now. A team that is very dangerous. With Troy signing Deshaun Watson, who's been amazing the last few weeks. But then you look at Dusty's team, who has been playing really good lately, and he's set up really good lineups lately. So I anticipate this matchup being very close. For Troy, he's just looking to continue to kind of separate himself and lock up that gold division. And for Dusty, I would like to think his main objective is to win this week and hope Steph loses so that he can surpass Steph in 2nd place in the Purple Division and remain right there with Ryan for the top spot. That's all 4 matchups here, previewed here in week number 9. Again, we have 5 more weeks to go. That's it. And after week 9 is complete, we will have 4 weeks to go. And all 4 games next week are divisional matchups. In week 10, all 4 matchups are divisional matchups in week 10. So we're looking at some huge matchups coming up. I wish you all the greatest luck, and I hope you guys continue battling your butts off. Until then, this is Commissioner Dick Schutz. We'll talk to you later.